Survivor, a social strategy game where a group of strangers are stranded on an island and have to survive the elements and each other. It is very real and it's very intense, as this is a game that has started off super simple and has now reached a point where the strategy and gameplay is so crazy that you will be on the edge of your seat by the end of every episode. This is a show that also does an amazing job telling stories and interweaving little ones within larger ones over the course of a season that connects you with who these people really are and what they're struggling with. Survivor is simple to understand, and the depths you can dive into it are mind-blowing. Thank you for watching what I make and ultimately supporting what I do here with liking, commenting, and sharing. It means a lot and makes me financially able to make more and more great in-depth content for you all. If you want to help make this channel grow and continue making in-depth analysis videos, then consider joining me on Patreon. For only a few bucks a month, you can pick who I make videos about, watch all of this channel's content early, chat with other fans of the show, and even get exclusive videos every month. Thank you for your support. No spoilers. I will not be spoiling any season of the show and will only be showing footage from the premiere episodes of any given season. So don't worry, you're not going to be ruined here in any way. Survivor is a fantastic show with a massive following ever since its first season way back in 2000 that revolutionized television. It has been CBS's #1 rated show time after time, even in the most recent seasons, and you can undoubtedly find an infinite number of places to talk about it online with other fans, along with many YouTube channels like this one to watch videos all about it. It continually gets new fans, and for those people, this is the video for you. So what the heck is Survivor really? What happens in a typical episode and in a season? Keep in mind, what I'm about to tell you is the very basics. Every season has its own little twists and things, but the show typically does an excellent job explaining what they are and how they affect the game. So no worries, you're never going to watch an episode or a season and just not understand what's happening. Survivor at its core is only about two things really. Number one is simply getting to the end of the game and having a spot at Final Tribal Council. There are 1,000 ways to do that, and so many of those ways are hard, and typically it is hard to do it. And the second goal of the game is playing a Survivor in a way that convinces your season's jury to vote for you. So those thousands of ways that you could have got to the end, they're not all going to please the jury. You're going to have to figure out what makes your season specific jury happy to vote for you to be the winner. And that's really it. It's simple to understand, but it's incredibly hard to master, as there are many people on the show who get to the end and don't receive a single vote, and some even get to the end multiple times and just don't win.
20 strangers forced to work together while battling the elements and each other. They must learn to adapt or they'll be voted out. In the end, only one will remain to claim the $1 million prize.
So a typical season of Survivor has 16 to 20 people split up into 2 or 3 groups called tribes, where the tribes will live together and compete in challenges. Every episode has an immunity challenge where the tribes face off, and whichever tribe wins does not have to go to tribal council. The losing tribe goes to tribal council and is forced to vote out one of their own players out of the game. This happens for about 6 or 7 episodes in a normal season until the 2 tribes become one, which is called the merge. Once everyone's merged, it is an individual free-for-all. From there, only one player can win immunity each episode, with a rare exception of 2, and everyone goes to tribal council to vote someone out. This happens for 39 days until there's only 2 or 3 players remaining, and at that point, the previous 7 or so players have to judge the people at the end and pick who the winner is. So that is the very basics of the show. With Survivor being a largely social game, the reasons people may want to vote someone else out, or even to vote for them to win, may vary wildly, and managing all these people to reach the end requires great skill. As you watch the show, you begin to understand more and more of what is happening and how to do the things well. And it's very easy to binge a whole season in only a couple of days, as each season is about 13 or 14 episodes each. So with that out of the way, what seasons are worth starting with to see if this show is for you? I will be listing 5 seasons I personally recommend that do not have any players returning to the game. As of the time of this video, there are 40 seasons in total, and like any show with that many seasons, some are undoubtedly not very good, some are just average, but every season season I will be talking about here will be a satisfying watch. At the end of the video, I will reveal what 5 seasons you all recommended, the viewers, when I asked for your guys' opinion a while back. But before I do, I need to mention here that no matter what, you may want to write this down, do not watch the following seasons: 8, 11, 16, 20, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 31, 34, or 40. And the reason is because they all contain returnees from past seasons that happened before them. But the big one to avoid, if you have to avoid any season, is season 40, as it literally will spoil 20 or so seasons because it is an all winner season, which is wonderful to watch, and it has so much more weight after you've already watched all those seasons. But if you just jump into it not having watched them, you're gonna be like, yep, here's a season of Survivor. So every season here can be watched on CBS All Access, though Amazon Prime and Hulu has a select set of seasons as well if you already have one of those services. To be perfectly clear for everyone watching here, this is not a definitive list of the best seasons ever. That is another video for another time. I don't want to overload new viewers with insane breakneck seasons that will have you only wanting to watch the newest seasons and incapable of truly enjoying everything in between. And the order I'm presenting these seasons is not from best to worst, but instead it's chronological and will have you understanding the show while also loving just how great it is. Some will say watching Survivor from season 1 to now is the purest way to do so. And while I do agree, I also understand that some of those super early seasons can be slow. Heck, I'm not even including my favorite all-time season, since I think it's too fast-paced and insane that you may actually be ruined to watch the rest of the show. So all of these seasons really are a great starting point, as they will slowly get you into the show. And then after watching these 5 seasons, I then recommend going back to season 1 and just watching the whole thing from the beginning. All right, so with that,
39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor.
Number 5, season 7, Survivor Pearl Islands. This is possibly the greatest old school season of all time. In fact, I can't think of another season in the first 14 that tops it. It is filled to the brim with big, lovable characters, which includes a person who purposefully acts like a villain just for the fun of it, which is very rare in the show. And everything here is all pirate themed. From the challenges to the music to the big twist that happens, you will feel like Captain Jack Sparrow, which is a bit crazy since the season released not too long after that first movie came out. Pearl Islands is not perfect, but it is perfect for newcomers to this show. You will get a great taste as to what to expect from Survivor while also learning and understanding the basics with a fantastic array of characters. It has unique strategies, gameplay that will have you not knowing who is going home week to week, and you will find yourself rooting for and against certain players. By the end, you will be wanting more, and not every season will have you feeling that way, but this one will, and it's a great introduction to the show. Number 4, season 15, Survivor China. Whereas Pearl Islands was drenched in pirate culture, this one is drenched in, you guessed it, Chinese culture. This is another season with wonderful characters, and a new strategic element is brought to the show here that was not in Pearl Islands, and is pretty much prevalent in almost every season of Survivor from season 11 on. That's how big of a deal it is. And by the end, you will be satisfied with how this season turned out. There are incredible blind sides, some that are still talked about to this day. Underdogs, and a villain who doesn't even realize they're the villain, and sometimes those are the best kind. The game here has sped up a bit, but the show is still focused on what makes it great, and that is the characters. Characters make Survivor. A great cast can make up for lackluster gameplay, but here you get both. Once again, you are gonna want to watch more Survivor after this one. Number 3, season 18, Survivor Tocantins. Oh hey, we're in HD now. Very nice. This season is set in the Brazilian highlands, and it is beautiful. This season has some of the best characters of all time, and that is a consensus thought, not just me saying it. A lot of these people here will get asked back to play again and again. That's how good they are. The underdogs are legit, the season's biggest character will flabbergast you, and the strategies used are another step forward in a logical forward fashion. There is a season-long twist this time that is present in other seasons, but here it really adds to the social element of the game that is crucial and will really get you thinking outside of the box about cross-tribal alliances. That's right. Once again, after this season, you'll be saying, Please, sir, can I have some more? Number 2, season 19, Survivor Samoa. This is easily the most controversial season I am putting on this list, and it is for good reason. As someone who has not seen the show, of course you have no idea why I'm saying that, but let me briefly explain. Remember when I explained the basic premise of the show? Survivor at its core is only about 2 things. Number 1 is simply getting to the end of the game and having a spot at Final Tribal Council, and as I said before, there's like 1,000 ways to do that. And the second goal of playing Survivor is convincing your season's jury to vote for you to be the winner. That's it. You only have to convince your season's jury. That's all this game is truly about. This season is the perfect way to finally get that concept if no other season makes it perfectly clear. After this season, you have to understand that. Unlike the past seasons on this list, this season pushes gameplay forward in a lot of ways, but it does it at the expense of forgetting the basics of the game, and that's what makes it so fascinating to watch. By the end, you will have strong feelings about everything you just witnessed, and people to this day still have debates about this season. There are in-depth discussions happening as we speak about what it means to play Survivor because of this season. It is insane, but in a way that will have you really understanding those 2 fundamental truths about this show that are literally explained in the finale of season 1. And number 1 on this list, season 28, Survivor Cagayan. I debated on including this season since the gameplay is pretty chaotic and I was trying to kind of avoid that, but I can't resist. The characters, gameplay, storytelling, and everything in this season is amazing. The theme they chose for how to split up the tribes helps us understand what their strengths are supposed to be, but also makes us take a look at whether these stereotypes are 100% true. This is a fun season from top to bottom with moments that you will never forget. And if you watch the previous 4 seasons on this list before this one and you still want more from the show, I recommend going back to season 1 and just watching everything chronologically. It is amazing. I still think there is a season or 2 that is better overall than this season, though this season does top a lot of people's lists. But Survivor's like pizza. Even a bad season of Survivor is still pizza, and pizza is pizza, and I want more of it. Now it is time to reveal what 5 seasons you all recommend. I tallied up every comment and vote, and here we go. These are presented once again in chronological fashion. Number 5, season 7, Pearl Islands. Number 4, season 18, Tocantins. Number 3, season 28, Cagayan. Number 2, season 33, Millennials vs Gen X. And number 1, season 37, David vs Goliath. If you're watching this and you want to watch those seasons that the people voted for, which are of course mostly what I put on my list, but there's 2 different ones there, it's fine, go for it. They're really great seasons. I just personally wouldn't recommend 33 and 37 quite yet, but it's fine. You're not going to get ruined for the rest of the show. So what seasons do you all recommend for a newbie watcher to the show? Comment below and I promise to read them all like I normally do. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content you see here, then please support me and this channel on Patreon. Your financial support makes all of this possible, so thank you, and thank you for watching.